Hello, wrestling fans. This is Smart Mark with your IWO show, aka the Impact Wrestling Observer, reviewing the Impact from December 29th, 2011. Show started out with Gail Kim and Madison Rayne coming out. Madison Rayne still in charge of the Knockouts, calling out TNT, which is Tara and Tessmacher. She tells them that they are fired. However, Steen comes out and says that he's in charge, not Madison. I called that one last week, that her reign would be short-lived at the top. So Sting's in charge of the Knockouts, and he announces that Gail Kim is going to fight Mickie James for the title as the main event tonight. Nice short segment, and effective, and gets the main event announced. Then we get Steiner and Abyss in a promo, basically putting the writing on the wall for what's about to happen in their match against AJ and Kaz. Match ends with Abyss swerving on Steiner, giving him the Black Hole Slam, setting up the win for AJ and Kaz. That's probably, pretty much what I figured would be happening anyways. Bully Ray comes out and starts shooting on Abyss, and I think he went a little long, and then, when your name's Bully Ray, don't call somebody else a bully. It takes away from Bully Ray's character. Twice now I've heard him call Abyss a bully. And maybe once was Abyss and once was Sting. I can't remember. Either way, he should not be calling anybody a bully. It makes him look weak. So basically, Abyss tells Bully Ray that he wants a match at Genesis, and it's going to be a Monsters Ball match. So, it's not a match I care that much about, as a story, but the match should be good. Then we get a promo where Sting tells Angle that, and they kind of drag it out, and he basically tells him he's fighting Rob Van Dam. And, they're kind of talking about the kicking, making a big deal about Rob Van Dam had split Angle open with a kick 10 years ago, and I guess it's kind of just tying into him, getting super kicked by James Storm. Anyways, then we get Ric Flair and Gunner shooting a promo that you see an ambulance behind them saying there's just going to be more of the same. And I like the matchup of Gunner and Flair, but to make it effective, Gunner's going to have to actually win matches. All these matches are pretty much thrown out and end with him injuring somebody. I get the injuring somebody at the end to make a statement, but it goes a lot further if you're winning matches, buddy. Then we get Zema Ion versus Tony Nese. This is the last of their best 2 of 3 series. We had Austin Aries on commentary for the match, which was, again, last week. I said that was needed. This was a contract on a pole match, which seemed weird for the best of two of 3, that the last one would be a contract on a pole. But it was still a pretty fun match to watch, and Zema Ion wins, which I definitely had figured he would. So now we've got the 4-way set for Genesis. It's going to be Zema Ion, Kid Cash, Jesse Sorensen, and Austin Aries for the belt. So that will be a fun match to watch, especially if they let him go at least 10 minutes and we get a classic, style X Division match, which is what I'm hoping for. Then Gunner totally crushes Doug Williams, and I was a little sad to see Doug Williams done like that, but it is what it is. I don't know, if these guys are all actually, leaving. Last week Gunner beat Jesse Neal, and Jesse Neal was gone. So I don't know if Doug Williams is gone or not, but it kind of seems like they're thinning out their roster some, and I wonder if that's to make room for some new talent or what. The other thing would be that they don't, if they only have 2 hours a week basically to get all their talent on television, they might somewhat be served by not having some of these people. Of course, I think that some more tag teams need put together, and that would take care of some of that. But Bobby Roode comes out. Kind of a long in-ring segment that I thought was so-so. Trying to build Roode as a heel, and this time he calls out his buddy. This is after we see, like all of Roode's family talking shit about him and his friends. Then he calls out one of the friends, Tracy Koleski, who, is not a wrestler, so, I can kind of excuse the poor mic work there, but at the same time, it is on a wrestling show, and I don't like it when they put people with no mic skills on the mic, even something like this. It just dragged it out, ends up Bobby Roode attacking the guy, supposedly his best friend of 20 years. Then Hardy comes out to save the day, runs off Roode. An effective segment, I just didn't really like it. But, Hardy coming out continues their run and, put Bobby Roode in that heel spotlight. I thought it went too long, and that his buddy was not good on the mic, and it just kind of dragged it out. Then we get Eric Young and ODB in a promo backstage, kind of, talking about being on the same page, and Eric Young wanting to, should we kiss because we're in love, It was funny. These two could put promos together. Unfortunately, that was about the best thing they did tonight. Then we get Kurt Angle talking. Angle did a lot of talking tonight. Anyways, when we get the match, Eric Young and ODB against Samoa Joe and Magnus, and most of this match kind of sucked. It was just kind of a little cat and mouse with ODB in the ring, basically, and ODB is supposed to look like almost a monster in the Knockouts division. So putting her in matches like this, where she looks small, and I don't know what it does for her. So they end up losing to Joe and Magnus, and that's the way it should have went. Sets up a pretty good match for next week with Joe and Magnus going against Styles and Kazarian, winner of which will meet Matt Morgan and Crimson at the pay-per-view. Then we get the RVD versus Angle match, which was going. It was a good match. Kind of looked like RVD had the upper hand for most of the match. And then out of nowhere, James Storm comes in and super kicks Kurt Angle. Match gets thrown out. It kind of made Storm look like he's, playing the mind games back with Angle. After what Angle did last week, it made sense that Storm would come out and do something, I guess, but there was part of that just seemed kind of, a little bizarre. Anyways, RVD promo, talking about he could have won the match. Then James Storm promo, talking about, you went and kicked my buddies and they're my family, so that's why I attacked you. and Kurt Angle saying he's going to win the match at Genesis because he always ends up with the last laugh, basically. Then we get Mickie James shooting a promo, going in, basically that she can beat Gail Kim. And so we get the main event match. It's Gail Kim and Mickie James for the title. And they were having a good match. It was going pretty good, but then all of a sudden, somebody comes out and hits Mickie from behind. And they're wearing like a mask or their face painted, so you can't really see who it is at first. Slides under the ring, and Kim picks up the win. Then as they kind of were going out of the ring, it shows Madison peeking up. You can tell that it's Madison Rayne. And she's got her face like painted, I think it's painted like Jeff Hardy or something. So I don't know why she needed to do all that if she was coming in, not being seen, hiding like what was the point of the face paint and shit? But so I guess I don't know what that was. But Kim retains the title, and that is basically everything. It was a well-paced show. There wasn't a lot of time where, you getting bored with the promos. I mean, there was times where they did 3 or 4 between matches, but they were fairly quick. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches in 2 hours, so pretty strong there. And a lot of things that I thought they needed to do, they did. I don't know. It was a good episode, well-paced. There were things that needed to happen that happened, but at the same time, there wasn't anything that happened that really knocked my fucking socks off, So I'm going to give this show a B+. There's nothing I can really pick out that they did wrong, So I liked the show. It just, sometimes things happen that I really either laugh at or get excited about this or that move happening or something, a swerve happening, this or that. This show didn't really have that to me. I guess maybe some people, Mickie James losing her spot, being in charge of knockouts, but that was totally not a surprise to me. The Abyss swerve on Steiner, we hadn't been sold hardly at all that he was really with them. And in that promo, it just kind of, you knew what was going to happen. So, B+. It was a good episode. I think most people probably would have enjoyed it. So, let me know if you enjoyed it or not. Please subscribe, leave me comments, especially if you got a question or something for a Q&A. Been getting a lot of good interaction recently off of the last couple of videos I did, so I still haven't been able to find this week's Florida Championship Wrestling, so hopefully I'll be able to find that and get it reviewed. But thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time.